Yo, T Neal in the building, Shade45, Core DJ Radio in the building. I got a special guest on the show. So many accolades, I can't even name them, man. I want to shout out to my brother, Tory Lanez in the building. T, what's up, man?
Man, what's going on? I'm happy to be here. Shout out everybody at Shade45,
Yeah, man.
Sirius FM, you
I
know
want
what
to
I
get
mean?
you.
All
Hey,
that.
man. Listen. So the first thing first, man. You dropping these projects, man. You just recently dropped one. It was kind of sentimental with your son, man. Can you touch on that
Absolutely.
real quick?
Yeah, no, we dropped the record. We dropped the record the other week. Called Dear Kai, and it was just like basically like a freestyle I had did over like one of the Eminem songs that I always grew up loving. The song he got called Mockingbird,
Hmm.
and so I just used the beat and wanted to write some things about my son. And I remember just while I was writing the song, it was just a lot of things on my mind, and I teared up writing the verse a couple times, and so I just felt like it was something that I wanted my fans to have, and something I wanted my son to have later on in life, just in case I'm not around to tell him those kind of things.
So let me ask you something. How you doing? How you doing in there? First of all, we already know what the situation is. We know where you at.
Man, I'm incredible, brother. I'm incredible. It's not even like they make it seem way crazier than it is. You
Uh
feel me?
huh. Well, shit. I'm glad it ain't crazy. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. What's happening? Like, what's going on with you? How you coping?
Nah, honestly, like man, my mind is great. I'm in great spirits. I'm in great health. I'm looking the best I ever looked. That's for sure.
Right. Right.
Um, get my body right, get my mind right, and just planning on freedom, bro. Like that's the thing. Like I'm not even in here in my mind. Like I know I'm already out on the street. Like God already showed me I'm coming out, so I'm not even like I don't even be paying attention. I be forgetting I'm in here sometimes. Like even when people see me, they be like, "Yo, you just got a light. Like you're not even in here. Like you're not even." And it's true.
Bro, you
I
always
don't.
had the light though. But come on, man. You always
Yeah,
had
but I
this.
ain't gonna lie. It's one thing to be able to shine in a world where the world is your ignition, right? It's able to shine in a place like that where the world is the ignition to your fire, but in a place that's dark and where there is no ignition and there is no spark plug, it's very hard to keep that light. Even if you come in with it, it's very hard to keep it. And so, for me, I've always just had a great relationship with God, and that's really what's always made me to be a beacon of light to people that I come in contact with, and regardless of whatever I'm going through, I'm an adapter. I adapt to everything. I was homeless when I was 14 years old, bro, so at the end of the day, like, it was nothing for me to adapt to a cell. If I could adapt to a park slide, sleeping on a park slide, I could adapt to a cell.
Yeah, you know what?
At
Yeah,
least
hey
they
man,
got a
hey,
bed there.
you said a lot of things to me, man. So let me just get into that. We want to know Tory Lanez. Touch on Tory Lanez, and we'll go from the past until the present and to the future. So tell me, Tory Lanez, from upbringing, Canada, from your different travels, your trials and tribulations. Tell me some of that stuff, man, that we talked about, and I just want you to lay it out there and let people know, because there's a lot of people don't know a lot of things that you told me I didn't even know.
Absolutely, no, absolutely. The thing is what a lot of people don't know is, like, really, for me, I was really much raised in Florida more than anything. A lot of people, because of where my nationality is and like where my background is,
Hmm.
and because of my birthplace, a lot of people just associate me with Toronto and Canada alone. But the reality of it is like I was really raised in Florida, Miami, more than I was raised in Canada. From when I was a kid, I lived in Orlando at a very early age. I went
Right.
to like first grade, kindergarten, and stuff like that in Orlando. Went up to Canada for about a year, and then I came back to Miami when I was in third grade. So from third grade up until about seventh grade, when my mom died, I stayed in Miami again, and then moved out to Atlanta. From there, and then from Atlanta moved out to New York, and then I went back up to Toronto, and that's when I was homeless and dealt with a lot of those kind of
Wait a
things
minute.
and things
So
of that
you,
nature.
you going past? When did your mother pass? What year?
It had to be 2003 if she died when I was 11, for sure.
Were you with her or no?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
I'm the youngest of six kids,
okay.
so me and my mom had a special relationship. Just growing up, I was the baby of the family, so she always, we had a special bond. You know what I mean? And my mom was like my best friend.
Okay.
Um, and that, that hit me hard. That was actually what started, me actually becoming a rapper, was when my mom died, I began to need an outlet to express myself, and I became really rebellious. So in school and all of that stuff, like all of my my school records are horrible. Like I have a hundred and I was always very smart, but like I have
Right.
139 suspensions.
What?
I've been expelled from every school I ever went to from sixth grade on till when I
Well,
dropped
how do
out in
you
10th grade.
accumulate 130 some suspensions? How does that work?
What they were doing at one point was like, yo, they would suspend me for 3 days, and then I'd come back and I get suspended on the day that I come back, and they just keep doing that. Um, but yeah, on my school suspension record, I have 139 suspensions. I've been expelled from every school ever since sixth grade on to 10th grade when I dropped out. And
Wow.
then, fast forward to now, I went back and graduated high school in prison.
Oh,
I
okay,
graduated
okay.
high
So,
school in
so,
prison.
all right. So this isn't your first time in prison.
No, I mean this is my first time in prison. I graduated this term.
Oh, you
So yeah,
graduated since you've been here. Oh, well, shit.
yeah,
Congratulations,
yeah,
man. Shit. That's right.
yeah.
That's what's
Thank
up.
you, man.
That's what's up. Yeah. God damn.
Thank you,
You
brother.
got in there and
Thank
just
you.
started getting to work. That's what's up. Congratulations, fam.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So I'm in college now and things like that. I took my first college course about a couple months ago and I passed.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels good, man. It feels good to be able to be in a situation where I'm able to just be able to get a little bit of higher learning despite what I might be going through. So I'm thankful for that though. You
Oh,
feel me?
absolutely. Absolutely. So you say you were homeless for a minute.
Yes, yes, man.
Now, how
It
did
took
that happen? Were you homeless in Florida or homeless in
I was
Canada?
homeless in Canada.
Okay.
So basically, when I was growing up, there was a point in time when my dad was moving to Canada, and it was him, his wife. His wife hated me at the time. It wasn't my real mom; it was my stepmom. She hated me at the time, and I remember I was just very rebellious. So my dad had moved in with his mom, which is my grandma, and she just couldn't take my behavior. And so she just was just like, look, man, like she was telling my dad, she was like, your wife, and and your granddaughter can stay here, but as far as Tory, he's got to leave and find somewhere else to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up moving in with these three dudes that they were all 22, 24, 26, just three brothers that my brother used to sell dope with.
Mm-hmm.
And they just allowed me like a little mattress kind of situation thing in their living room. They allowed me to sleep there, but they were like very much like, yo, if I buy something and you didn't buy it, like, and you touch it, like we're fading, like, you
That
know what I'm saying,
that
like it's
kind of
an
shit.
immediate fight. And so for me, I was broke, so I had to touch their stuff, I had to eat their food, I had to drink their drink, and I was fighting just all my whole 14 through like 15, 16. All I was doing was fading like every day. Like imagine running like 5 fades a week. You
Damn.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
Hell
like,
yeah.
but I'm like 14 and I'm running these fades with guys who are like 22, 24, 26. And that's when I became so lion-hearted. That's why I go at everything with the approach. There's nothing that scares me,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just one of those things where I've always had an opposition in some sort of way,
No.
regardless of what it was. And then when I got
I've
out of
been
the
there.
situation,
I know exactly what you're saying.
yeah,
Shit.
and when I got into that situation, it got to a standpoint where it was like, look, man, I'm tired of fading. Like, like I'm tired of, like, I could go on the street and go steal food myself and not have to get into a fight over it. So then I just decided I gotta get out of here. I can't keep fading these guys every single week. So at that point in my life, I had to then figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And so it's times when I'm going to school, I got a big, it's like a little bit thicker than a trash bag. It's like I kind of had this elastic bag that just I had all my clothes in, and I used to travel around with that, for real.
Wow.
And it was nice. I just didn't know where I was gonna sleep. Like, as far as, okay, am I sleeping in the park today? Am I in one of the homies' cars? And I'm gonna just ask them if I could pass out in the back seat. Like, I didn't know what I was gonna do. Like the real deal, like begging for change, like homeless, not like homeless, like I can go somewhere, but I don't want to go there. Like real life, actually homeless, because at one point when I left, somebody else had moved into that spot. And so when I tried to come back, there was a point when it got so bad, I tried to go back. When I
Mm-hmm.
tried to go back, it was like my spot was taken. So, I was real deal, without a home. And so,
Wow.
you know, eventually I met this dude named Rams, who basically had a studio It wasn't a good studio. It was like in his aunt's basement,
And this was in
you know,
Canada.
yeah, in a storage room.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was in Canada, and I remember just recording myself doing takes, or running in the booth, or running out and stopping the take, and being my own engineer and artist at the same time. And like, there was just a couple moments. There's actually a clip that made it to World Star with me rapping inside of that room.
Wow.
It was the first time that I ever got on World Star, and it was this. Basically, they were saying I was Drake's little brother, and it
Wow.
was they went big with this rumor or whatever the case is, and then the rumor eventually turned into a whole bunch of other things.
Hmm.
Justin Bieber had then caught wind of my stuff, and one day Justin Bieber actually had stole 7 of my bars out of a verse that I had did,
Right.
and somehow, some way, some guy who had a plug to World Star at the time recognized the bars and then exposed it, and then it kind of catapulted me into the news of like all this stuff that was going on, and they were like,
Wow.
yo, man steals rap lines from underground rapper and all this
What was
foolishness.
the bar, T? What was the bar?
I forgot. It was something like, I'm getting hella dome, call up Lady Gaga on my telephone, because she had the song called Telephone at the time. It was some foolishness. I can't even remember what the verse was, but
Right.
I'm sure somebody can find it online. The verse was a freestyle over Beamer, Benz, and Bentley by Lloyd Banks,
Right.
and Justin Bieber had went on, I think it was Transformer, one of those beats, and then he had just basically copied my bars, and then it kind of catapulted Sean Kingston into signing me, and then from there, a bunch of other things had happened. Got away from Sean Kingston, went to Interscope,
Hmm.
blah 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 blah. The rest
So
is the
so
rest.
so you
You know.
went from did you go was that your reason for coming back to Florida was uh after how the world star thing and Sean got you, that was your reason
Well, you
coming
gotta
back to?
understand. I always loved Florida more than anywhere I've ever been. That's where I grew up. Like
Right. I'm with you, fam. I'm
that
with you.
technically felt like my hometown.
Right.
Of course, Toronto and Brampton, that's where I've lived when I was in Toronto, and you know, that will always have a different type of a feeling. But Miami is just such a familiarity that I have with Miami that is unlike anywhere else, I've ever been. And so, as soon as you just get off the plane, it's like it hugs you, like the warmth, the humidity, it hugs you.
Man,
And
what you man, yo,
you know,
you know how many bro, you know how many times I tell
I,
people that like I could go anywhere else, bro. It was just a different thing for me. You know what I'm saying? And
absolutely.
like man, when you said that, it is like just a
It's a
warmth thing. You know
warm
what I'm saying?
hug.
Yeah, man. It's
It's
like it
like
just
it's
wrap.
like it really just, as soon as you smell the pavement coming out of that airport, it's like you just know you're in
Man,
Miami.
dog,
Like
you the first.
it's
Hey, you the first person I heard explain it. Like I'm trying to tell you, I be trying to
it's
explain
true.
it. It's it's
It's
it's
true.
hard to explain to people how you feel about it when you're not like when you somewhere else and you trying to tell them. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's hard to explain to them how makes you want to grind. It makes you want to.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like as soon as you get up,
Absolutely.
you had this feeling. No matter how late you stay up, it's like Miami, South Florida. It just makes you. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. No, that's
Yeah.
real. That's real. It just has something to it that's it's unmatchable. It's an unexplainable good feeling about Miami that you just get, and the more you go there, the more it welcomes you when you leave and you come back. So it's just, I've always had that love for the South, and that's also why I've always been able to be versatile, even in rapping, where it's like even though I was kind of, second half of my life was more so raised in the East Coast, it still allows me to be able to tap into my Southern roots or Southern flavor that I got growing up, even using certain accents, going on certain beats. And that allowed me to have that different fluctuation of styles that I could pick from.
Yo, hey, sidebar, my brother, Ron Mills, the man over at Shade45, Hip Hop Nation, all he told me to tell you what's up.
Man, tell my man I said what's good, man. It's been a long time.
For sure,
It's
for sure.
been
I
a
will.
long
I
time.
definitely will tell him that. I definitely will tell him that.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you, T. Do you really? Because I want to make sure I get the people to understand what's about to take place. I know you touched on the Sean Kingston thing. How do you feel about this whole thing that's happening with Sean right now?
I mean, it's a sad thing. I think that looking at the details of what he's actually being locked up for, it's kind of like, well, if the federal prosecution wanted some sort of or restitution paid, I think they should have just went more so at that, just because when you look at the details, it's kind of like he didn't really do anything.
Right, right.
The reality of it is sometimes things that we do have consequences.
I remember Janice bringing him to my conferences, man. And
Absolutely.
she would just, I wouldn't even know schedules. She was just bringing. Like,
That's
you know how
just
she
like
is.
Denise, for sure.
He performing, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was
For
like,
sure.
yeah.
Just like her.
But
But she's
yo,
a
but that
great
was a
mother.
good
She always gonna stand up for her kid.
fucking
You
right,
gotta
fucking
respect
right.
that. For sure. Absolutely, man. But it's a sad thing. It's unfortunate what's going on, and I'm praying that everything goes well with him and his family.
I'm just glad that his ear is incredible, man. Even for him going through all the stuff he's going through, for him to even come with the Chris Brown record, it's just you know what I'm saying. It's a different kind of he's a different kind of talent when you could be facing that kind of adversity and still make a record like Sensational. It's
Oh,
crazy.
absolutely. That's the story of my career right there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Just my whole career has been adversity, and I know that feeling of being able to triumph through it, and it's truly a refreshing feeling just knowing that no matter what they throw at you, you can't be stopped. You know what I'm saying? And
hmm
that feeling in itself is unexplainable.
yeah.
And it's really a beautiful thing when you really tap into that and understand it at its fullest capacity.
So you feel like that.
I feel like that 100%. You know what I'm saying? They didn't try to stop me in every single direction, every single way possible. They didn't try to lock me down, shut me down. They didn't try to lock me away from the world, but
Man,
you
bro,
can't stop
hey
me.
man,
I'm like a cockroach,
man,
you know.
our shit is so crazy and familiar, man. How we've been talking, man. And yo, like you killed me the other day when you told me your birthday was the 27th, but I was of July, man. You know, my mother's birthday is like, that was heavy for me, man. You know,
Yeah, now it's a crazy synergy. It's a crazy synergy, and
yeah,
that's why I believe God linked us up. You know what I'm saying? And for those listening who don't really know that, me and Tony Neal, we locked in. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. That's my business partner, and we really about to take it to a whole nother level. And I think it's deeper than just this interview. I think this interview
man.
is just really the foundation that we're gonna look back at and be like, wow,
Yeah,
like
remember that conversation
remember
we
when we
had?
did
Yeah,
that? You
man.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, remember that
So it's
conversation? Yeah, for sure.
exactly. And so it's really just really a history recorded moment right now. And everything is full circle. We've been supposed to lock in. And I think the greatest thing is now is I just see God aligning everybody that's supposed to be in my life right now. And it's just like I can't second guess it. I can't, have second thoughts about it or anything. I just know that that is God. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I appreciate that, man. I just been through a lot of stuff where people don't even take the time out to even give you, and I don't want to use the clubhouse phrase because I call the clubhouse phrase of flowers, bro. But I've been having some self examination situations where I just feel like with you coming along with this whole thing with the Soul Train thing, bro, and working back with Akon and just different stuff that I've been doing, man. It's just kind of solidifying. I'd rather get flowers by solidifying what I'm doing versus a
Absolutely.
bunch of people giving me flowers and then come back and ask for favors later.
Absolutely. I feel that. I feel that 100%.
They tell you this, they give you these salutations and tell you how great you are, Black Radio Hall of Fame, all these accomplishments that you do, only to come back and ask for something. If you don't oblige by it, it's like you don't have to compliment
All of a
me.
sudden, you the worst person in the world.
Yeah, you don't have to compliment me for a favor, bro. Like just let's work. You know what I'm saying? Let's just work. I know what I'm doing. I know what I've done. You don't have to do that. I'm not the type of person that's gonna wait. I'm gonna show it in my actions. The way I feel to you is once you hang the plaque on the wall, it's old.
That's real.
Once you hang the
That's very
plaque on the
real.
wall, it's old, bro. So I like to work like that, man. And I appreciate you even putting that out there, letting everybody know what's going on, because we finna fuck these motherfuckers up, man. I'm gonna tell you, like, I've been going through your records, man. Oh man, we gonna yo. I'm just gonna leave that there. But look, so all right, man. So this situation, since you went in, like, how long you been in? How long you been in right now?
About 2.5 years.
What's happening,
Absolutely.
man? Like, what's the discoverables? What's going on? What's going on with you with that situation?
I mean, with what I can speak on
Right.
is just the blatant evidence. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of this evidence was uncovered, even though I was screaming this at the top of my lungs. A lot of the actual physical evidence was uncovered after trial. You know, there was a ton of prosecutorial misconduct from the prosecutor, things that they tried to hide and suppress, evidence that would have exonerated me that they tried to hide and suppress. But, you know, God sees all. And at the end of the day, God's been on my side. And he told me at the very beginning of this, that at the end of this, not only would I get out of this, but that I would get out of this and be bigger than I've ever been. And I've watched everything happen into full fruition, whether or not people can see it or not. See, that's the thing about me and God's relationship. God allows me insight on things that are about to happen. And sometimes he gives me far insight into the things that are going to happen in the future.
Right.
And when this situation happened, I couldn't see it at that moment, but he was showing me the ending of this at the very beginning. And the reality of it is like, that's why throughout this whole situation, beyond the fact that I know that, you know, evidence wise and just in period, I'm actually innocent. But even knowing that I'm innocent and all those things, I just always knew that God had a bigger purpose in how he was rolling this out, in the timing, even in me going to jail, the things that I had to see, the things that I had to do to help people. You know, I opened up a foundation called the Hands of God Project.
Nice.
And the Hands of God Project basically allows for us to pay legal fees to get prisoners that were excessively sentenced to basically get back on appeal and also get resentenced and get home. And I send about 7 people up a month for resentencing. I give them all lawyers, all legal. The same lawyers that I use are the same lawyers that they use, so they're not getting some second-rate lawyer or anything like that.
And you're doing that from all right there.
Yeah, I'm doing it from jail. So I send 7 people up, $14,000 a person every single month.
Wow.
No matter what, so I can give back, because I see what kind of hellhole prison can be, and I know that if you have no, you know, relationship with God or those type of things, it can feel like no one's here for you. And so I called it the Hands of God Project, because if you feel like no one's here for you, at least you know that the hand of God is on you. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, like, that's what it was about. And so there's so many things that I had to come here and learn and see how people were being treated. This is modern day slavery. I want to say that as well. You know, I've watched dudes, you know, that have no support system, no family, no family system, nothing to support them. They put money on their books. I've watched those dudes wake up and bust their back and work every single day for 9-hour days and make 35 cents an hour. And when they get to canteen for the month, all that money is pretty much gone, and they don't even have a lot of food. It's just like the I've never seen this. This is like, it's almost like when you go to prison, you go back to like the 1960s or something. It's like,
damn.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, you're being underpaid, and 35 cents is a high paying job. Like, they got jobs it's like 10 cents an hour. Like, it's just bad. Like, it's just so bad.
35 cents is a high. That's crazy.
The highest paying job pays $2.50 an hour. That's like, yo, you're a baller. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the prison world, that's like, yo, you're Elon Musk.
Wow.
So you have to think about a hostile environment. And then where I'm at, it goes by levels in California. And, you know, this is gangland. You got to remember that.
So that levels thing, what is that? Like, what is that? We can touch on that real quick. What's that? What is that?
All right, so the way it works, it goes in levels. So they got level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And that's the you know, level of custody level that you're on. So basically, like, level 1 is usually like pettier crimes, or like you're about to get out, or, you know, you've been doing well enough that you're on a level 1, so you're on the most, you know, quietest, like, freest yard you got. You know what I mean? It's not a maximum security, it's more so minimum security.
Right.
Level 2 is like, okay, you're starting to bubble up now. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're probably in here for robbery, things of that nature, you know what I mean? You know, but it's ultimately you're on your way out if you're on a level 2, or you're in good sailing. Level 3 is like, all right, it's cracking now. Like, all right, this is where all, like, you're in here for shootings, you're in here for, you know, maybe you murdered somebody, level 4 is like, all right, you did some heinous wild stuff or whatever the case is, and you landed on a level 4 and it's dangerous. And then there's level 4 on a 180 yard, and then that's just like, yo, what is wrong with y'all? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
is that where they got you at? Is that the Florida?
And Tehachapi, this is like the one prison that has level 3s and level 4s, and we're all on a 180 together. So I'm on a yard with lifers, people that, have life without the possibility of parole, people that have triple life, like there's all types of people here. So I'm here with murderers. I'm here with just a bunch of wild people. And then you got to remember, this is California, so this is gangland. This is
Definitely,
like,
definitely that.
there's real life politics here that you got to abide by. And being somebody from Canada, it's luckily I'm just a street person all around, and I've been through a lot of things, and so I fit in very well. I adapt very well, and my attitude, like I said, I'm always a light, so my attitude has always gotten me in places where, whether or not you're one of the grimiest killers or what, you just got love for Tory. Tory's just a guy. He's like, you just can't, like, you might hate him at the start, but once you talk to him, you realize, like, nah, that's a good guy right there.
Let
Like,
me
you know what
ask.
I'm saying?
Hey, let me ask you this: how are they with the case and everything? When you got there, did it take them a minute to warm up to you, to
Nah,
figure you out,
nah,
or
nah, nah, Everybody in prison on my side, they like, yo, we know that's bullshit.
Mm,
They're like, we know that's bullshit. Everybody knew that was bullshit, and everybody a lot of people on the outside knew it was bullshit too. But it was just like, you know what? Tory's convicted. This is what it is. We're gonna go off of this. But let's talk about this for a second, right? Let's go into this.
okay.
I want you to imagine that they're saying that you shot a gun. You're in jail for 10 years for a gun they're saying that you shot,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
When they go look at the GSR on the thing, they say, hey, the GSR is on two people. They say the GSR is on you, and they say the GSR is on another person. And then they say, well, now the GSR is on you. Let's test you. Let's make sure that we DNA test you. And you say,
Right.
you know what? Yo, you guys can DNA test me today, tomorrow. What day would you like me to come in? I'll come in freely. You
Right.
go give your DNA test up, and when you go give your DNA test up, they tell you you're inconclusive. So all throughout your trial, they don't DNA anybody else. They only DNA you.
Mm,
But even though, despite the other person has GSR on them, they don't DNA anybody else. They just DNA you. And it comes back inconclusive. But you're like, yo, I never touched this gun. So at that point, you're sitting there like, why are they saying that I did this?
mm.
So now it gets to a standpoint where they don't DNA anybody else. They DNA you. They say inconclusive. All throughout trial, they kept saying, hey, Tory is not, he's inconclusive, so he's not included, but we can't say that he's excluded.
Right. Right.
Right? So that was what their whole argument was. Well, he's not excluded, so this is like, it's an I don't know test, is what basically what the DNA test is saying. It's I don't know. It's inconclusive. It's not yes or no.
Right.
So I go to jail. I get wrongfully convicted. There's no physical evidence against me, but I get wrongfully convicted. And then this is when all the revelation comes out. This is when I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm not having this. I go tell my lawyer, yo, go get another person to go DNA this gun and go check the same DNA stats and results, because something funny is going on here. I never touched this gun.
Right.
Sure enough, they go do that. And like I said, I'm 100% excluded. 100%
Wow.
excluded from this gun.
So
So I'm 100% excluded from this gun.
no question.
No question. I'm 100% excluded from this gun. There's no fingerprints of mine on this gun, on the magazine, on the bullets. However, there's 4 other fingerprints and 4 other DNAs on this gun. So this gun is not wiped down. Nobody wiped this gun down. 4 people are contributors on this gun. The main contributor is a 95% contributor. That means 95% of the ownership of this gun should go to that person. That person is not me. The other contributors of this gun is another male and 2 females.
Right.
Now, if the other contributors of this gun are a male and 2 females, but I'm 100% excluded, why the fuck am I here?
That's a fact.
Why am I here? Well, then let's take it a step further. They said that this person was shot, and they said that they retrieved bullet fragments out of her foot.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
Those fragments that they so-called said they took out of her foot, Cedars-Sinai Hospital comes back in my discovery and says, hey, we lost the bullet fragments.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What?
Now, come on. I've watched a lot of episodes of Law and Order.
How do
I've
you
watched a lot of
lose?
episodes of CSI. I understand that the police can do things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
the hospital is not going to lose whatever they claim that they extracted from any part of your body. They're not going to lose that.
Well, how do you lose bullet fragments? How is that possible?
Exactly. Now, let's take it a step further. They used up every bit of DNA
Mm.
so that nobody could get retested. So right now, if I wanted to test somebody else for this gun, I couldn't,
Because there's no DNA.
because there's no DNA left. There's a certain amount of DNA that they put on a gun for you to test it. They used all of that DNA testing me, knowing that I was not the contributor,
Hmm.
so that they would not be able to have enough to test anybody else and convict anybody else.
Wow.
So then on top of that, then they sealed the gun. So nobody knows where this gun is registered to, if this gun
Mm.
is licensed. You can't see this. You can't find this gun. It's somewhere sealed. You'll never see this gun ever, ever. So even in trial, they didn't produce this gun, and they kept saying that it was sealed. It was sealed. It was sealed. Sealed. No one says any objections. It's sealed. It's sealed. It's sealed.
Right.
Okay, cool. Now that that's done, I want to go back over these facts with you one more time.
Mm.
I'm in jail for a gun that they said that I used to assault somebody with. I have no fingerprints on this gun. I have no DNA on this gun. This gun is not even around for you to see this gun. The bullet fragments are missing according to the hospital. So you can't even say that these bullets came from this gun. And on top of all of that, I'm 100% excluded from the bullets, from the gun, from the magazine, from any fingerprints on this gun. However, there's still 4 other people's prints on this gun. So this gun has not been wiped down. Why am I in jail?
Wow.
Why
Wow.
am I in jail?
Wow. I mean, well.
So with that being said, it's like, I've ate this. I ate it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I took the time. I didn't get on the internet crying about it. And I took it like a man, and I said, God is gonna handle my situation. And that's where I put my trust in, and that's why I've been fine all this time, because
Right.
He will do it for me. He will do it for me. And I remember everybody laughed at me because I put out this tweet when I was right before trial started, and I said, no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
I
Blah
remember
blah
that.
blah blah. And I said, I'm gonna let this tweet age. And everybody laughed at that, right? Everyone was like, whoa, this didn't age well when I lost. Everyone was like, oh, this didn't age well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing about that thing is that I said let this age for a reason.
Mm.
If I knew I was gonna win right then and there, why would I have to let it age?
Facts.
I knew I was gonna go through tribulation, but I knew at the end God's promise was that I was gonna be bigger and better, and I was going to beat this situation,
Well, family,
and
that's
that will
what
happen.
hey, well, that's what I'm here for. I'm ready to
Oh, it's time.
expedite that situation.
It's time. And
Yeah.
that's why God is aligning, and that's why I don't take anything by coincidence. God is aligning every person that's supposed to be in my life right now, and He's removing everybody. And guess what? It's gonna be a lot of stay over there, my G's. Like it's gonna be
Yeah.
a lot of
A whole
it's
bunch
gonna
of
be a
that.
lot of those. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? The thing
Yeah.
about it is like I'm not a bad guy, I'm not a villain, but I'm far more cutthroat than I used to ever be.
Mm.
So it's like the things that I used to be susceptible to allowing to happen around me will never happen again. I run a very tight shift. I'm the boss of my company, but at the same time, all my life I've been a boss, but I've never had taken the chance to partner with other bosses and create an empire. And so it's people like you, Tony Neal, and people, like Dre London, and the ones that are truly, I'm gonna go into my next chapter with. There's a different grace, there's a different light that's about to be shining on us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even the people that right now that may look at you and be like, yo, Tony, why are you linking up with Tory, and what is this, and we don't know what's going on. They know deep down the conviction that I'm talking with is not for no reason. They know I know something that they don't know.
Right. Right,
They
man.
know I know something they don't know.
Man, hey, man, I ain't worried about that. I've been doubted my whole like, why you doing this? Why you talking to? Yeah, I had that shit. Well, you ain't scared to
Absolutely.
do this with Tory? Nah, what the fuck? Nah, nigga, no, fuck no. Why you doing? Why you imagine public announcement? You know what I argue, man, all that shit. Then fucked around and got the Soul Train shit through them. Can you believe that shit? So it's like I always, you know. Ah man, Akon's like then now his cat is out here killing motherfuckers, like killing shit again. Like it's always a doubt
Of
before.
course.
It's
Of
always
course.
gonna be a doubter before the
Something great.
realization. And yo, and killing part, they're not gonna come back and apologize. That same person is not gonna come back and say, you know what, you was right, bro. I apologize. No, no, no. They'll try to find a way
But
to get
that's the
in your
thing.
shit.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing when I say like I'm more cutthroat, it's like all that Hollywood shit that niggas used to be able to run by me, that's you can't do that to me because I'm gonna
Hmm.
hold you to it. See, there's a lingo that we learn because we're Hollywood and where everyone's famous and everyone's and da da da, and everybody has pride. Pride. What a funny thing. Everybody
Crazy.
has pride, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't have no pride. I'm paging you, bro. Where's my verse? You're
Right.
not gonna do it, fam? Tell me you're not doing it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not even playing the yo, I was in the studio this time and the da da da. Yo, fam. If you're not doing my verse, fam, you should have never said it out your mouth. You
Right.
feel me?
Right.
Now it's like, yo, like now I need you to tell me right now whether or not you're gonna get it done by this time or if I'm gonna be telling you fuck off.
Right.
It's very simple.
Right.
I don't need nobody for nothing musically. In fact, bro, I don't even care. And I want all the artists listening to this to understand something about Tory Lanez, bro. I no longer give a fuck about anybody that's famous as far as like me trying to get on a song with them. I don't want to get on a song with you niggas. I don't give a fuck about you guys. I care about the artist that's coming up, that's just
Hmm.
talented, that's just waiting for that break. That's who I want to work with because
Fact.
that was me before. I don't care about working with you famous niggas that have everything already. That this shit, a feature of Tory Lanez to you, it doesn't change your life. I don't want to work with you.
Right.
I want to work with the guy who needs it, dog. I want to work with the guy who, once I give him this record, he's gonna go and he's gonna take off. That's who I want to work with. That's who moves me. I'm moved by the people. I'm not
Fact.
moved by the fucking fame. Fuck
But
the fame.
well, you
Fuck the
show like,
media.
hey
Fuck
man, you showing it. You showing it. Your independence. You know, shit. Like I mean, goddamn, you like the independence leader. Like you look at your numbers still
real
right
talk,
now.
bro.
Like,
And I ain't gonna lie. And now I finally figured out the perfect independent distributor for me to go to. I'm
hmm.
not rocking with nobody else. There's a distribution that just came out called Parasol. It's PRSL. And they did all the marketing for the last album I dropped called Peterson. They did all the marketing for that. They did all the helping me get independent playlisting and everything. And
So
like
what's the name of it again, so everybody can know?
it's Parasol. That's where I distribute from now. It's Parasol is what the name of it is, but the way it's spelled is PRSL.
And what does that? And what does that mean? That's like, what does that mean?
Parasol is actually I don't know. I think parasol is like French word for like an umbrella or something
Oh
like that,
shit.
which was actually crazy because it's like the same thing as my shit,
We talk
right?
about the.
So
Hey, I'm
we
talking.
felt
You talk
right at
about some
home.
fucking. Hey,
Yeah,
you talking
we
about some
felt right
fucking
at home.
synergy right there. Wow, that's
We
crazy.
felt right at home,
That's fucking
and
crazy.
yeah, and it's crazy, man, because these guys, they get it. They understand an artist like me, and it's hard to understand an artist like me, but they are very new, and I do know that that is going to be the hub for like real independent artists to really have a major career, but still be independent. So
Now,
it's like you
when
can
you get
get
an
the major
opportunity,
without the
man,
major.
when you get an opportunity, I know you talk from there and all that stuff. When you get an opportunity, hook me up with them.
Oh, I will. I
Yeah, for
got you.
real. Plug
I
me with
got you.
them.
I got you. They're looking for new talent and stuff too, and they're flexible, bro. They giving services, they giving playlisting, they giving marketing, they doing
Bro, I
everything.
want to work
You
with
feel
them
me?
directly. Like,
Yeah,
hook me
yeah,
up.
yeah, for
I get
sure.
what I get
Don't
what you
worry, I'm gonna
saying.
line, I'm gonna line
Hey,
you up with
hey,
them.
fuck all that. I get what you saying. All that artist shit is cool. I can do that, but I want to work with them directly because that's the language I be speaking. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Nah,
on that. You know what I'm
we'll
saying?
put that together. We'll put that together, Tony. That ain't no issue. I'll go holler at them in the morning. That's
Yeah,
nothing.
I need that, bro. I'm on that. That's how I feel it right now.
Absolutely,
Everything independent,
absolutely.
everything, everybody could gotta control their own destiny, man. Like everybody, you gotta be able to control your own shit.
Oh man, trust me, man. But that's the greatest thing about being independent. About and we've gone through it, Tony. Like we've been the independent person that's had to go out there and grind and get it, and so we know about that hustle, about that uncertainty that kind of still drives you. Like we know about that. And at the end of the day, as long as we have that, I don't see where we're ever gonna run into any problems. And like that's why I say, like, man, I know that they get a hold of you, they're gonna be like, oh no, we need this guy
Man,
immediately.
for
You know what
shit
I'm
show.
saying?
That's where I want to be. I want to be where I'm
And
needed.
plus, what's great about them is like they're the type of people where right now they're in that building phase where they're just trying shit. Like they're
Mm,
not scared to spend money. They're not scared to do shit. Like they're just trying shit and they're just doing shit. And I love it. Like it's just
wow.
great, dog. Like it's fucking incredible.
Hey man, I'm with that shit, man. So I just wanted to get you on here, man. I appreciate you, man. I didn't know how much time you had to talk. Shit, I hope I get some new music from you so we can put it on this fucking show. You know what I'm saying? But man, yeah,
Absolutely. Nah, I got you. I got you. I'm about to start sending you some exclusives, man.
oh shit, I need that. I need that. I
I
need that
got
because I
you.
know that shit gonna be fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I
So,
got you.
hey,
I
okay,
got
all
you.
right. Well, since you're saying that,
Why don't we go ahead and just run an exclusive right now that no one's heard?
Well, fuck it. Yeah, give me that shit and I'll run
All
that
right,
shit.
matter of fact, no one even heard this. This is the new Tory Lanez. It's not even out yet. This is Tory Lanez and Max B from both of us recording from prison to prison. Both of us recorded this in prison. This is
Wow.
this is this is this is the Max B and Tory right here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna say what the name of it is. I ain't gonna say nothing. This is an exclusive right now. Tony Neal, Shade45, Tory Lanez, and Max B, niggas. Prison to prison. The first time ever. Let's go.
Man, I appreciate it, bro. I'm gonna holler at you later. I appreciate you, fam.